Word to your mother, my name's Steve, this channel is Fragrances Riches, and thank you for tuning in. So today I'm going to be doing a first impressions of an Alexandria Fragrances fragrance. Now, for those of you that are fairly new to the channel, this is a series I started ages ago. Basically, I ordered a couple of Alexandria fragrances and they included some samples in there. I started just sticking the camera on and filming my first impressions, just something to do really, and the guys at Alexandria quite liked the videos, so they sent me more samples, some little samples, some travel sizes, and a couple of actual bottles as well. So I've not paid for this fragrance, so just bear that in mind. It was free, so that may either directly or indirectly, consciously or subconsciously affect my opinion. Take that as you so wish. So before we get into this, just a quick reminder that this is purely a first impressions. I literally just spray it on my arm and tell you kind of what I get. So I'm probably not really going to get much of the dry down. I'm not going to be able to tell you anything about the performance. It's very quick, crude first impressions, so just bear that in mind. Fragrances obviously change over time and develop and smell different in the dry down. So this is just the first impression, so it's normally just the top notes and maybe some of the mid notes as well, so just remember that. The fragrance we're going to be looking at today is Alexandria's Haute Luxor. Now this is not as yet released. This is due to release at the start of December, so this is going to be released soon. This is a clone of Roja Parfums Haute Luxe, which retails at $2.5 grand. Let's just let that sink in for a minute. $2.5 grand on a fragrance. That is mental. Like, it's just... Okay guys, I've got a confession. Basically, I just filmed my first impressions, filmed the outro, finished filming, went to stop the recording, and it had already stopped because the SD card had run out of memory. So I fucked up, I'm sorry. So I will go through the motions, but just to be completely honest with you, I have now obviously literally just smelt this. I've got it on this arm. So it is drying down, so you might get a slightly more in-depth kind of first impressions. What I said in the first recording of this is I have high hopes for this. Obviously, I don't have the original, so I'm not going to be able to say how this compares to the original. I mean, fucking who does have the original? So I'm just going to tell you how this smells, which I've already done in the first recording. So yeah, I'll go through the motions. It's just going to be a first impression. So let's give this a go and see how it smells. I already know the answer, but I'll go through the motions and just tell you because I've already got it on this arm. But yeah, let's see. So I did this earlier, and when I first sprayed this, one of the first things I commented in the first recording is, got to be careful because I got quite a lot of alcohol the first time I did that. I don't get too much of that sort of bergamot freshness at the top. To me, once you get past the alcohol, it goes really quite powdery and talky, which I wasn't expecting. In fairness, I probably should have. I've smelt a couple of the kind of more of these starter fragrances from Roja, and they typically are like that, so I don't know why I was surprised, but yeah, it smells quite talky in its texture, and also it does smell a little bit like talc, so quite literally. My wife often doesn't get these kind of references, I'm sure you do. You kind of get a powdery talky balls type sensation, but this actually does smell a little bit like talc itself in the sort of opening. It goes quite powdery from presumably the rose, and the sort of jasmine in there as well. I think what I'm getting a bit of violet. I didn't really pick that up in the first impressions that I just filmed, but yeah, I can actually get the violet. So it goes sort of quite powdery, but then, which it's doing now, and how's this one? Yeah, see, this one's hardly that talky at all. This is kind of settled right down now, where this is still a bit talky. Then it starts kind of getting into the sort of dry down, I guess, because it starts getting a little bit, I don't know if it's the oak moss coming through, but it gets a touch greener, but a touch more earthy, and the smell that it kind of, the memory it brings to me, the place it puts me, there's, when I'm peeling potatoes, and I'm peeling the skin off of a raw potato, that kind of earthiness, that earthy aroma that you get from that, there's like a hint of that in there, mixed with this sort of violet, rose, jasmine thing. Yeah. Interestingly, that raw potato peeling sensation is gone in this one, so it does kind of clearly does dissipate, and it starts kind of getting into the dry down. I don't know if it's dried down enough, because I'm still not getting any of the kind of like cinnamon, and it's not that sweet either, so I'm not getting really any benzoin yet. Might come in at a later date, but yeah, so once it starts drying down, it does lose some of that powdery talciness. But I would say, I don't know if the original is intended to be unisex, but I'd say this definitely is. It's either unisex or it's more for a typical Roja customer, probably a more sort of mature, affluent kind of guy. But as I say, or woman, because I think this is unisex. But yeah, it's a bit more mature, it's quite clean. It's once it loses that talc, where it smells like talc, it actually starts smelling more luxurious and more upmarket. So yeah, it smells nice. But what I will say, not surprisingly, I'm sure nobody is at all surprised by this, it's not really my style of fragrance. It's not something that I smell and go, oh wow, I need this in my life, I need to own it. Certainly not for £2,500. Obviously the Alexandria version is a lot more affordable. Yeah, I'm still getting a little bit of potato peeling there. This one's not. This one is a lot more balanced now. The rose and jasmine and violet is not so intense, so it's lost a lot of that talciness, and it's just a lot more balanced now in the dry down, a lot more. Yeah, still getting raw potato peeling there. So it smells good. It smells, as I say, in the dry down luxurious, not really my style of fragrance, to be honest. I don't think anybody's going to be surprised by that at all. It smells very clean. As I say, the image I get, I think it's unisex, but I imagine somebody of like Roger's age, a more sort of mature kind of guy wearing this in the office, and they smell good, maybe with like chinos, shirt, suit, etc. I think it'd work really well. So yeah, it's definitely a clean office style fragrance. So if you're looking for that sort of thing, give this a go. Maybe smell the original as well. I mean, it's a safe blind buy. For me, it's not an exciting fragrance for me personally. So there you go. So that's it. Thank you for watching. If you did get anything out of this video, do give it a like and subscribe if you haven't done so. And do comment below, have you tried the original from Roja Parfums? Do you plan on buying this Alexandria version? If you've smelt the original, do you get a sort of potato peeling sensation from it? Or is that just me? Am I mental? Anyway, I do love it when fragrances kind of give you these weird images in your head. Mostly anyway. So thanks for watching. Don't forget, I have recently started a brand new YouTube channel called For Shits And Giggles. That's just purely for kind of comedy sketches and stand up and all that sort of stuff. Just me messing around basically. I'll link that channel in the video description below, and there'll also be a kind of card at the end that you can click on to kind of go through and watch some videos on there, or subscribe. I'd really appreciate it because it's a brand new channel and I'm trying to grow it. Other than that, I will see you for the next video. Take care, much love, and I'm sorry I fucked up and lost the original first impressions. Take care, much love.